You like football?
Yeah, I do.
We do too.
Oh, you too. Oh, I love you too, Reggie.
We do too.
Week 6 of... Whoa, week 6? Welcome to week 6 of the Actional Football League, otherwise known as the XFL. As always, we had 4 games this weekend, including a huge matchup between the Defenders, the undefeated leaders of the XFL North, and the Roughnecks, who sit atop the XFL South. As a big Wade Phillips fan, I think it's perfectly acceptable to root for the South to beat the North. Other times, not as much. Is there a QB controversy in Houston? How'd Kurt Benkert do with just 3 days to prepare to play QB for the Brahmas? Did the Vipers get a win? No, they didn't. You know that. But I'll recap the full week of the best and worst plays, players, moments, all of the XFL. Shit! Here on That's Good Sports. Let's start with the week 6, or strong 6 of the week, Defenders versus Roughnecks. Sorry, St. Louis, the Defenders have reclaimed the title for the best fans when they got the fuck Dan Snyder chants going full force in this game.
Fuck Dan Snyder! Fuck Dan Snyder!
You like football?
Fuck Dan Snyder!
Pair that with their consistent record-setting beer snake making the uprights look drunk every game, or more inappropriately like the uprights have blown their load. Alright, opening play. Roughnecks returner. Dijon League is blasted by Fisher. Dijon and Fish? Oh, that's a nice combo. I'll take the special. This was supposed to be a premier matchup between the two best teams in the XFL. Instead, the Defenders asserted their dominance and solidified themselves as the clear-cut best team in the league. That said, the Roughnecks struck first with the touchdown on their opening drive, finished off by Mad Max Borgie fighting in to the end zone. Look, if you have a kid and you name him Max and he plays sports and he's remotely good, they're going to call him Mad Max even if he doesn't resemble Mad Max at all. Now, this was actually a close game for the entire first half, but that all changed with a minute 15 left in the second quarter. My worst butter hands and best momentum changer goes to Roughnecks receiver Ajini Harris and Defender safety Santos Ramirez, who yanked the tip ball out of the air for a momentum-changing pick 6. As a Roughnecks fan, again, mostly a Wade Phillips loyalist, it pains me to give the Roughnecks the worst defense of the weekend dishonors. It wasn't just that they gave up more points than the lowly Vipers defense, it's that they allowed the Defenders to torch them in the passing game. Literally something the Defenders haven't done all season long. They've leaned into the run and their defense to win. I don't know anything about his sexuality, but this was Jordan Teyamu's coming out party. This season, DC has flat out ignored throwing the ball and used their dynamic running back Abram Smith to torch opponents. And Smith, by the way, churned out another 95 in this game, almost all in the second half. And their gadget QB, De'Aaron King, was only given one play in this game. Teyamu went 19 to 31 for 245 yards and tossed 2 tuds. One of which went to my best individual performer, Lucky Jackson, which I'm thinking is what Lamar Jackson will change his name to once he actually gets paid. Lucky was the only ball catcher to go over 100 yards this weekend, and he hit 136 on just 5 grabs with a rip of 36. And I like to imagine Lucky's pickup line at the bar is, "Do you like getting lucky with Lucky?" It never works, but he still does it. Now, my favorite play of Lucky's was his one-footed toe drag swag catch that had to be reviewed. Best pecs? This official. Damn, dude, you are yoked as hell. I could make an omelet with all of that yolk. Best switch that nearly worked? Well, the Roughnecks inserted QB Cole McDonald in place of Brandon Silvers late in the third. They do this quite a bit and use McDonald as a rushing QB through the course of a game, but he found a wide open Deontay Burnett to give the Roughnecks a bag of hot McDonald's and a bit of life late in this game. 2 things went down after that play though. One, the Roughnecks couldn't convert any of their point after attempts, which killed any chance they had at an actual comeback. But more importantly, their defense refused to cover defenders, ball catchers, or stop Abram Smith. Cole McDonald finished with a far superior stat line than Brandon Silvers, and hell, they were the only team with over 300 passing yards over the weekend. But to be fair to Silvers, McDonald was given 2 deep layups, which had him sitting at 17.6 yards per attempt with 194 passing yards. I still don't know how this second one wasn't a TD, but it will be interesting to see if Silvers holds on to the starting gig next week. I love Silvers, but I kind of want to see what the former Hawaii Rainbow Warrior can do with the full start. Please help save the XFL. Like this video, share this video, subscribe, get it out there, and help The Rock notice me. Tweet this video to The Rock. Please, I want him to use me as a bench press to warm up for his regular workout. I do have Big Dick Patreon shoutouts for Robert Dominguez, Lil Plank, Trav, Starman2112, and Kyle Donovan. We will be having our Patreon hangout next week. That is for all $10 Patreon members, all $10 YouTube members. It's a Zoom hangout where we just shoot the shit for like 2 hours. So if you want to join, sign up at either of those places. And that's how you support me. Thanks. The Dragons defeat the Guardians. My best not a traitor goes to quarterback Quentin Dormady, who was excused from the team after being accused of giving Orlando plays to the opposing team. Guess what, Orlando? Turns out you might just not be very good. Now, he never gave away plays, and apparently all he did was told his friend Reed Sinnett of the Brahmas that he was inactive. Dormady was very bland in this game, no picks, but no touchdowns. But at least he's not a turncoat, and more importantly, I guess he's not Paxton Lynch. Best Benadanici is still Benadanici. The Dragons picked a good game to have an off game. Seattle was not impressive in this one, but they got a 7-point win for simply scoring more points every quarter. Okay, that sounds dumb, but look, 3 points, 6 points, 8 points, and 9 points. Scored every quarter. The Nuge hit 2 second-half TDs, one to Blake Jackson, who I thought was Baker Mayfield for a second after he scored, and then dinucci. Should I back off, or do you like it? Did a great job extending the play on the 2-point attempt. His mobility also had him as the Dragons' leading rusher, which I don't love for the longevity of the team, but the niche is a fun to watch every week. Best running back, well, that goes to Devin Darrington, who scored Orlando's only 2 touchdowns this week. One of them being a very impressive 43-yard sprint through the middle of the defense. Typical Guardians luck, though. After that 43-yard touchdown, Dormady became a victim of the big man pick on the PAT after attempt. Redundant. That's number 97, Nico Lelos, who helped seal last week's game with the tip strip thing that resulted in another Dragons interception. This was a 1-point affair in the fourth quarter, which makes it my best game of the week. The good news for the Guardians is Dormady looks like the answer for the team at quarterback. The bad news for them, the Dragons get the best finish, but also the worst special teams play by the Guardians, who gave up a blocked punt halfway through the fourth quarter, giving the Dragons a short field from 4 yards out. Then, she throws it to number 4 and calls game. My worst Hail Mary attempt, well, that goes to Quentin Dormady. They were in position to tie or possibly take the lead with 8 seconds left in the fourth. The Dragons sent the blitz. The running back had no idea what he was doing, and Dormady doesn't get it back to the line of scrimmage. This is the ultimate proof that Dormady wasn't giving away plays, because I think he's still learning his own. The Renegades fall to the the Brahmas. Best friend, Kurt Benkert got to play in this game despite only being with the team since Thursday. And sure, he was only 1 for 6 passing with 2 yards and a pick, but god damn it, the Brahmas are undefeated with Benkert and mostly defeated without him. Let's see what he does with a full week of practice under his belt and a chance to learn the playbook, because God knows that man knows ball. Worst, the Brahmas passing game is going to be really hard for Benkert to, I'd say resurrect, but it's never existed. To animate? Hopefully he can cook with that sneaky dominant defense getting better every week. The bar is low, which is great for Kurt, but he and Jawan Pass were only able to combine for 59 passing yards, which gives them my best doing the most with the least award. Now that said, Kurt did have a 3rd down pass dropped, a dime that was ultimately called pass interference, and a final throw that was also pretty good, not called for PI. How bad has the passing game been for San Antonio though? Well, they don't have a single receiver in the top 20 in total receptions, and their tight end, Elise Mack, is 27th in yards with 118 on the season, and yes, he is the Brahmas leading receiver. Best strip sack goes to Delonte Scott, who not only separated the QB from the ball, but he threw a block that allowed his teammate Jordan Williams to scoop the fumble and take it all the way to the house in what was eventually the touchdown that decided the game.
You like football? Hey, get back!
Worst, my guy Klye Sloter was released by the Renegades after this game. He was replaced by Drew Plitt in this one after going 6 for 13 for just 22 yards. Sloter's time with the Renegades has been weird. Maybe he lands back in the USFL where he was one of the best QBs last year. Even though they lost, the Renegades did manage my best catch of the weekend by my best named player of the weekend, Lawan Whittingham, who gave the Renegades their only real chance to win when he boldly prevented this bullet from shooting out of the back of the fucking stadium and hurting someone. I thought his arms might get ripped off here, but he holds on. Sadly, his team lost, and the Duke of Whittingham will not let Lawan return until his team is victorious again. Oh, and programming note, Tom Grossi and I will be co-streaming the Brahmas game this Saturday, so we can watch our friend Kurt Benkert, so come check it out on this channel. Check it out on my channel, so I have more streamers than Tom. And finally, we've got the Battlehawks defeating the Vipers. Boom! Mr. XFL himself, AJ McCarron, gets my Best QB of the Weekend award. AJ, I've been waiting all season for this exact performance. Not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns for the gunslinger, 0 picks, and 236 passing yards. McCarron had his best game of the season against the worst defense, as one might expect. He averaged a very NFL-like 8.1 yards per pass, and now has the Battlehawks at 4-2. Now, McCarron did a great job spreading the ball around. 5 dudes all ended up with more than 20 receiving yards, but Darius Shepard had himself a day with 2 touchdowns and 7 grabs.
You like football?
I love football, coach.
We do too.
Unless the Roughnecks, who have lost 2 of 3, course correct, the 3 best teams in the XFL may all be in the north, in DC, St. Louis, and Seattle. The Battlehawks defense allowed just 43 rushing yards and didn't give up a pass longer than 20 yards. And my Battlehawk ball hawk had to be Lavert Hill, who stole the ball twice in this game. Now, St. Louis actually leads the league in interceptions with 6 on the season, and fumble recoveries as well with 8. So they have 14 takeaways on the year, most by any team. On the other side, oh man, poor Luis Perez, who was coming off a solid game last week, was replaced by Brett Hundley, who was more effective. But that may have just been because the Battlehawks, after jumping to a 23-0 lead, were in garbage time defense mode. Perez had 99 passing yards with those 2 picks, and then Hundley comes in, was 50% on the day, but did get a $120 and a big touchdown before Las Vegas changed the spelling from Las to Loss Vegas.
And some breaking news, Luis Perez has actually been traded to the Renegades. So Perez is going to get another chance, I think, to start with Arlington.
Shout out to the guy on the left whose shirt just says tasty. Is he tasty? Is he telling the reader that they're tasty? It's hard to say, but these men love football.
We do too.
Thanks for watching week 6 of the XFL. Share and like this video so we can show support for the league and tweet this shit to The Rock. Get The Rock to notice me.